There is a world champion out there who's desperate for a good result in 2022, and this may be his opportunity. In fact, he's won the last 2 events at Supertubos. Do you have any idea who I'm talking about? Well, we're going to get into that and take a deep dive into some past results for the Meo Pro Portugal. Hey everybody, I'm Old Surf Dad, and in this video, we're going to check the surf forecast and talk about the wave at Supertubos. Next, we're going to get into some stats in the Old Surf database. And finally, I'm going to make my men's and women's fantasy picks. But first, let's check in with our fantasy surf league. So we have a surf league around here, and you're invited to join. Just go to oldsurfdad.com for more information. So what happened in the Hurley Pro Sunset Beach? Well, just the tip squeaked by local fin chops by half a point for the win. It was an exciting finish. Congratulations to the both of you. And just a tip, you will be entered into the Hall of Fame at oldsurfdad.com. Rounding out the top 5 is Reno 34, Yarub, Kirka, local fin chops, and just the tip. Now let's look at the overall standings. At number 1 is local fin chops with 1,037 points. That's 16th in the world. Very impressive. Number 2 is Rafa Alves, 3 Kirka, at number 4 is Yarub, and then number 5 is Saltwater Wine, although I think Saltwater Wine may have joined after the Sunset event, so I'm going to give a shout out to last year's competitor, Chase the Goat. Congratulations, everybody. If you don't know, we have a text chat on Discord, and you're welcome to join us. There's more information on that in the description below. All right, let's get on to the surf report. Now, Portugal is one of the few spots on tour that I haven't actually surfed. And I don't know about you, but I get confused when I hear about all the surf spots and the places where the events are held. So what did I do? Well, I Googled it. When you Google search Portugal surfing, of course, this is what you get. I also found this old video clip of Nazare. Check it out.
This ancient Phoenician craft, with its grotesquely peaked prows, is particularly suited to Nazare's harborless coast, where since time immemorial her fearless fishermen have braved the long rolling tide.
But there's other amazing surf breaks in beautiful Portugal. Let's take a look. So here's where Nazare is located in the north. And then down in the south, there's Cascais, which is close to the capital city of Lisbon, where there's been several QS events, and is Frederico Moraes' home break. You may remember the recent Challenger Series, which was held in Ericeira here, but let's focus on the WCT event, which will be in Peniche, more specifically Supertubos, where you see the little peninsula. Here's what it looks like up close. Supertubos is open to Atlantic swells that develop consistently this time of year. That, coupled with the Nazare Canyon, which is the largest submarine canyon in Europe, boosts the size of the waves in the area and makes for great surf. The north to northeast wind is offshore and helps make the barrel that Supertubos is famous for. The wave is a sand bottom left and right with an air section depending on the banks and the swell direction. I would keep that in mind when selecting your fantasy team. As I record this video, Nazare is being bombarded by a huge swell, and it looks like there'll be more waves on offer for the Meo Pro Portugal. I would guess that the event will start on Friday, March 4th and have a few contestable days, although the conditions could be an issue. Then the second half of the waiting period, Wednesday and Thursday the 9th and 10th, look good before another huge swell hits Portugal at the end of the waiting period. It's hard to say whether to have small wave air surfers on your team or barrel chargers. Maybe a little bit of both, or that special person that ticks all the boxes. All right, let's look at some stats. So, who won the last 2 events at Supertubos? Well, that would be Italo Ferreira in 2018 and 2019. And this event couldn't come at a better time for him. The former world champ currently sits at number 16 in the world behind rookies Jake Marshall, Samuel Pupo, and Luca Macinas. I did not see that coming. While looking at past champions is helpful, I want to go a little deeper and look at semifinals results for the last 5 years to see who's been competitive at Supertubos. Let's geek out. So here's 2019. We see Jordy Smith beat Kanoa Igarashi and Italo beat Kaioi Belly. Were you surprised to see number 4 Kaioi Belly in there? I was. Let's see what else we can find. In 2018, we find Owen Wright, who has had consistent results in Portugal going all the way back to 2009. In 2017, there's Kanoa Igarashi again, and another consistent performer, Kolohe Andino. 2016 was the year that John won his first world title on the beach at Supertubos, defeating Connor Coffin. And look, there's Kolohe again, and one of the most consistent surfers at Supertubos, Jordy Smith. And finally, 2015 was Felipe Toledo's year, taking home the win with Italo in second place. You also see Vasco Ribeiro in the semis, who will be a wild card in this event, and you'll find in Tier C. There are 2 men's surfers that deserve special mention. First is Kelly, who won here in 2010 and was runner-up in 2011. Then there's Jordy, with years of consistent results and 3 second-place finishes. Now let's talk about the women. There have been only 2 CT events at Supertubos. The first was back in 2010, where Carissa defeated Steph Gilmore. Steph would go on to win the world title that year, but Carissa would win her first world championship trophy in 2011. The next women's CT event was in 2019, where Caroline Marks beat Lakey Peterson in rippable overhead surf, and Lakey nearly pulled an air reverse for the win. And then, in the mix, are last year's world number 1 and 2 in the semis. There's a lot of info and plenty of stats to make our men's and women's fantasy picks. Let's do it. All right, let's begin with the women's. In Tier A, check this out. Brisa and Malia have higher average heat scores and significantly higher win percentages than Carissa. But I think Portugal is a good fit for Carissa, and she's ready to put on that display of turns we are all accustomed to. I'll take Carissa, and I'll make her my power surfer, probably forever. Moving on to Tier B. Tier B is full of difficult choices, all talented women, and check this out, more than half are rookies. These new rookies on tour are absolutely killing it, and I'm curious to see how they will do in Portugal. I'm also wondering if the cold water will affect some of the Hawaiians. So look, I'm going with the veterans at this event. I'll take Joanne DeFay's power turns and Tyler Wright's tube riding. Now on to Tier C. Tier C is crazy. It's like a vintage bargain bin. There are 3 women from the WSL finals in Tier C. It's unbelievable. I want to take one of them. I'm just not sure which one. I'll probably change this and reselects. Let's go with Steph and hope for clean conditions. By the way, what's going on with Caroline? She's the current Supertubos champion, and there's been absolutely no word on her condition or her progress. I would love an update, and I hope she's okay. All right, now I want to talk about Tia Blanco, who won the wild card through the Ultimate Surfer TV show. And she won in difficult circumstances and performed well under pressure. She's a good surfer with clean turns and a worthy opponent. However, there is no way that she should be in the draw when Moana Jones-Wong is ranked 3rd in the world and local Portuguese CS-ranked surfers Yolanda Hopkins and Teresa Bonvalo, who, by the way, surfs a rip curl, are sidelined. It's not cool. And it's not on Tia. It's on the WSL for irresponsibly giving away reality TV wildcards and not respecting their own competitive hierarchy and rules. It's disgraceful and wrong and needs to be fixed. That's my rant. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. All right, let's move on to the men's. Okay, starting in Tier A for the men's, I'm going to very decisively and quickly take Kanoa Igarashi before I become enamored with Kelly and Jordy and Felipe and Ethan. Kanoa is in great form and has a house in Portugal where he lives part-time. I'm also going to make him my power surfer. For my second pick, I'll go with John Florence because he's just too good not to win an event. All right, moving to Tier B, I'm going to take Jack Robinson first. That's an easy pick for me. Next, I'll go with Italo, who's already there and posting some mad cone clips on his Instagram. After that, I see the consistency of Kolohe. I'm going to choose Kolohe Andino. And finally, I'm tempted to take Jadson Andre, believe it or not, because he's such a fighter. And every time I pick someone, he seems to beat them. But I'm going to go with Nat Young, whose surfing is surprising me this year in a good way. So go Santa Cruz. All right, Tier C. I think Tier C is the most difficult to pick. I like both Portuguese surfers. Wildcard Vasco Ribeiro has competed here for years with great results, and Frederico Moraes is like Jeremy Flores, where he didn't win in his home country of France for a long time and then ultimately got the victory. I think Frederico is due at Supertubos, and I'm going to take him. And then there's Barron Mamiya coming off a big win. It's hard not to choose him. I also like Owen Wright in his experience here, but for some reason, I like Kayo, and it's hard for me to pass him up. I'm going to take Kayo. He's surfing lights out, and he's good in all conditions. Let's see if he can keep that momentum going. So there's my picks. Depending on the matchups, I'll probably make some reselects. I'll post them in the description below, but I can't guarantee they will be posted before picks close, after the elimination round, and before the start of the round of 32. By the way, if what I just said doesn't make sense, I'm going to put a video together to help explain it, and there'll also be some notes in the description below. All right, good luck, everyone. Now my survival pick. Yes, I'm still alive, and I understand that nearly half the field is done and dusted. My pick was John at Pipe, then last event at Sunset was Jack Robinson. For Portugal, I'm going all in on Kanoa after his incredible performances so far this year. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. If you got something out of this video, hit the like button. If you're not yet subscribed, feel free to join us. By the way, you can join our Fantasy Surf League. Just go to oldsurfdad.com for more information. Hey, good luck with your fantasy team, and we'll see you on the next one.